Have you ever been told that cats are meant to roam outside? For years, we've been led to believe that indoor roaming is the best way for cats to live, but what if I told you that keeping them indoors is actually better? Should you keep your cats indoors or should you let your cats free roam outdoors? Well, this is a very polarizing debate, so today I am going to ruffle some feathers for sure. Ready? Let's dive in. Hello, amazing cat parents. If we haven't met yet, my name is Paola Zanibelli-Davis, feline holistic care and behavior specialist, helping you and your cats live extraordinary lives together by unlocking the secrets of natural remedies and positive training, because not having alternative options should not be an option. While we are at it, you might want to wait until the end of the video to subscribe to my channel, but if you do feel so inclined, by all means, hit the subscribe button at any time. Right. First of all, if you want your cats to live longer, healthier, happier lives, check out my free resource, Help Your Cats Live Longer in 5 Simple Steps, available for you at holisticcatspecialist.com/5 steps to longevity. Did I mention choosing to keep your cats indoors as one of those 5 steps? Yes and no. Yes, I mentioned it because the average lifespan of cats who are allowed to roam outside is about 2 to 5 years, where indoor cats can live an average of 15 years and up to 20 or 25 years. Longer in some cases. However, no, it's not one of the 5 steps. Keeping cats indoors to ensure their safety and longevity is more of a baseline fundamental fact that really lies at the very bottom of all the skills you want to build as a cat parent. Now, before you start writing comments under this video, bashing me for condemning the cat guardians who let their cats roam outside for perfectly good reasons, at least in their eyes, hang on a second. Are cats allowed to play outside, healthier, behaviorally speaking? Yes, they generally are. We all agree on that. Hunting is so important to cats, and having access to this activity can keep them active, both mentally and physically, which is very important. Are all cat guardians who let their cats free roam uncaring people who don't really give a toss if their cats live long, happy lives? Of course not. Are all outdoor situations the same? Of course not. Most of you letting your cats roam outside under no supervision do so because you are indeed caring and you care about your cat's emotional well-being, and you believe that cats need to hunt and explore and just be free to be happy. You probably also believe that cats have an inner wisdom that preserves them from harm and that they are mystical, magical creatures who outwit most others. Well, I do totally agree that cats are incredible animals and absolutely wonderful companions, especially for the introverted folks out there, myself included. And yes, I think cats are pretty magical indeed, but I am biased. However, I am well aware that cats do not stand a chance in front of the dangers that not only nature can put in front of them, but we put in front of them. Like when they brush against the lily that someone is growing in their garden, for example, or when they step into antifreeze that has been left on the road and then they lick their paws. And my opinion is not just coming from the fact that I lived for many years in a country where strays were shot, tortured by kids and adults alike, dumped in the desert to die of dehydration and starvation, picked up by pest control regardless of signs of identification, hit by cars and left unattended on the side of the road, thrown in rubbish bins, and pets were often used to entertain the kids, often left behind after being locked up in an empty home, yes, and abandoned in many other creative ways and forms. The reason why I firmly believe that indoors is better for cats is that, quite simply, it is safer. You can provide entertainment and stimulation for indoor cats missing the thrills of the outdoors, but you cannot ensure safety for free roaming outdoor cats. In short, you cannot make up for the lack of safety once you leave your cats free roam, but you can definitely make up for the lack of stimulation when you keep them indoors. It just takes a little more effort, of course, and you might have to get a few more environmental enrichment items, yes. But it can be done, and it can be done very well. In fact, I teach you many ways, strategies, and techniques to live better lives with your cats, where both you and your cats find fulfillment. And I do this in several ways. One way is my very affordable membership, which is opening this year, the Holistic Cat Club. The link of the waitlist, by the way, is in the description below. If you're interested in hearing more about it, put yourself on the list. Cats do not become neurotic just because they are kept inside. If that was the case, all cats who have unlimited access to the outdoors would be perfectly emotionally balanced. I'm pretty sure you have at some point heard of cats who were the terror of the neighborhood, or cats who constantly want to be let out only to feel that they actually need to go back in. Again, if that was the case, all indoor-only cats would be miserable, but that is simply not true. Some cats have a quiet, shy personality that thrives in an indoor environment. Some cats who are a bit more active or adventurous might need that extra step to feel fulfilled, but with some extra attention, they do very well indoors. Now, you have access to loads of information on the internet, and I'm not here to regurgitate this information and fill you with the same bullet points you can read everywhere else. I am here to give you a chance to change your perspective. I am here to validate you in the fact that you want the best for your cats. I am here to elevate your skills as a cat parent and possibly to inspire you, because adopting a cat is a long-term commitment, and I believe in integrity and responsibility. And being a responsible cat guardian means also being open-minded to learn better ways and making a promise to the cats under your care that you will do all you can to keep them happy and safe. It means trying to understand what your cats need and looking for alternative options when the ones you are given seem not to work. I see having cats very much the same as having kids, not because I encourage you to personify them and treat them like actual babies. Cats are cats, obviously, and have cat needs that we need to respect and honor. But in terms of making a responsible decision based on being an adult. So being a cat parent involves duty of care. So the same way I would not allow a small kid to cross the road unattended, I would not want my cats to run the risk to be harmed because I let them out alone. So in short, let's look at the dangers of free roaming. The first is RTA, so road traffic accidents. We all know what they are, and we all know what cats, what happens to cats when they are hit by cars, and they're not quick enough to get away when they are blinded by those lights in the dark. Many cat parents start keeping cats indoors and only indoors after they suffer the loss of their cat due to traffic accidents. Unfortunately, these accidents can be very traumatic for cat parents and cat guardians, and they come to the conclusion that they should have done it sooner, but of course at that point it is too late for that cat, so they need to implement this for the cats that they adopt afterwards. The second one is getting poisoned, because it takes literally just brushing against the wrong flower, which you have zero control over, where your cats go when they go outside without your supervision. It takes brushing against the wrong flower, or stepping in the wrong thing, or eating the wrong stuff that has been left out, maybe for rats or for other animals, because people are careless in these things sometimes, and they just leave things that are poisonous around. And even when they don't mean it, there are so many things that are poisonous to cats, and they can be left outside, and cats can dig in and ingest them. So the third one is getting lost or trapped. Of course, that's a major one as well, because cats can lose their bearings and they can get lost, or they can get trapped somewhere in somebody's garage when they go on vacation, and all of a sudden your cats are not coming back home, and the reason is that they're trapped in somebody's garage or in somebody's car or truck. Unfortunately, there are examples of workers that have gone to places to do some works during the day, and the cat that was allowed to roam outside has gone into their van because they were, cats are curious, and, curiosity killed the cat. And so they go inside the van and they, browse through things. And when it's time to leave, the worker closes the van and off he goes, only to realize that the cat is inside the van once it opens the back doors of the van and is maybe 50 miles away. So in that case, the family couldn't find the cat anymore, and they didn't know where the cat was. And the worker gave them a call saying, your cat just jumped out of my van, but that was 60 miles away. So you can imagine the distress and how difficult it is for them to search for that cat at that point, who doesn't even know where he is. The fourth is getting stolen. Cats can get stolen, especially cats that look like they are a breed, or, certainly cats that are a bit more friendly, they can get stolen for several reasons. And so that's a problem as well, even though it might be less frequent than road traffic accidents and other things, and poisoning and getting lost, but it's still something that can happen. And the fifth is getting hurt by other animals, whether they are predators or simply dogs on the loose, because not all dogs are kept on the leash, unfortunately. And we all know what happens when some dogs see a cat. And sometimes cats are not able to jump efficiently and get away efficiently, and they don't stand a chance in front of certain dogs simply because they are very aggressive and very big. So obviously there is a size issue there, and also the fact that some dogs are just not used to be around cats, and they get very aggressive when they see one. And the sixth danger is getting hurt by other humans, because remember that some people are really nasty. So you don't know who the cat is going to meet outside your house. And another one, the seventh, is getting injured or contracting diseases by fighting with other cats. Indoor cats don't need so many vaccinations, in fact, and one set of vaccinations at the beginning of their lives is usually enough for long-term immunity against major diseases. And this way they don't need so many vaccinations, and these can keep them living for so much longer, and just because of this reason. But of course, if a cat goes outside, they can get in touch with other cats, they can fight with other cats, they can get abscesses because out of wounds that they get with other cats, they can get diseases and so on. The eighth danger is that they get out of your control. So simply put, cats, once they are out roaming free without supervision, they get completely out of your control when it comes to feeding, toilet habits, symptoms of feeling unwell, and behavior changes. So this is the last point that I have listed, but it is a very important one because nobody seems to talk about this. But having a degree of control over the way that your cats live can give your cats many more years of life. I understand that certain situations, of course, are more complicated and they need individual assessment, and I'm not black or white, and there are many ways you can improve things in a particular way that works exactly for you. But I hear people cheering for not needing a litter box inside their home, for example, due to the fact that their cats go outside. And it really annoys me, because any cat deserves the comfort to have a clean toilet in a comfortable place, just like we do. They are members of our family, and sometimes the weather is awful outside. Cats get old and they might not want to jump hoops to get to a toilet. Cats might hold their pee for many hours to avoid venturing outside at times, which is not good for their health. And cats leave important signs about how they are feeling, linked to what they do in the litter box. In fact, you should be very grateful that they adapt to use a box inside your home, because that gives you so many clues about how they are. And even when they are unwell, and it's hard enough to read them as it is, but if they are outside half of the time, you won't be able to spot those signs that you should spot as a responsible cat parent, to see if your cat is okay. Because if they are inside the house and they behave strangely, you'll be able to spot it pretty quickly. But if they are out all day and you don't know if they've used the litter box, you don't know if they've vomited, you don't know if they have peed blood, maybe, or they haven't peed for hours, and which obviously urinary blockage can be an emergency, a very important emergency, and you wouldn't know any of these things just because your cats are free to go where they please at any time of the day. And the control that you have over your cat just goes down to zero, basically. Would I help cat guardians wanting to solve a health or behavior issue that they have with their cats, even if their cats are allowed outside? Of course I would, absolutely. But would most remedies and behavioral modification techniques work better with indoor cats? Yes, generally, yes, because of the degree of control that you have on your cat. For example, a client consults me for a nutrition plan so that her cat can safely lose weight. And this will work better if her cat does not have access to the neighbor's well-meaning bowl of kibble that she puts out every day, thinking that the cat in question is actually starving. We must stop making convenience the factor that rules the way we take care of our cats. We must do better. Whatever you choose to do, looking at your individual setup, drive with your value of being a great cat parent and giving your cats the care that they deserve. I do understand that there is a huge difference, obviously, and a huge variability between cats roaming in a high traffic area versus cats roaming in the countryside, for example. And I know you might be dealing with your individual challenges, as I said before. So if you do decide to let your cats outside without supervision, then here is what I advise you to do. 1, make sure that they have updated microchips and tags. Only 2% of non-microchipped cats make their way back home safely when they get lost. So make sure that the microchip is registered at the right address and the tags is visible on their collar. Talking about collar, 2 would be use breakaway collars to avoid strangulation. So use those collars that are easy to open and break. They're called breakaway because they break away when they are pulled, so that if your cat gets tangled anywhere, the collar would just come off instead of strangulate them. And of course, these collars are good even for indoor-only cats, because cats can get tangled anywhere in your house, unfortunately. So these collars are ideal in any case. I always advise to use breakaway collars. 3 is keep your cats on a schedule, which means do not free feed them and train them for recall. you might think that, you know, what is this woman talking about? You know, they're not dogs, but actually loads of cats can learn recall very well. And, you know, it just takes a little effort, and it takes a little training, but a lot of cats can be called back home, and they can respond to their name. Of course, if they get lost out of your own, you know, against all odds, and you didn't mean to let them outside, but they get lost. Cats that get stressed sometimes don't answer their own name because they are scared, they are stressed, and they tend to hide in those situations. But on a normal, in a normal situation, if you train your cat to go outside in certain areas and you are used to call your cat back because you trained your cat for recall, your cat will usually come back. Fourth is use a radio tracker. So these are trackers that are different type of trackers out there, and this is not the video where I discuss all the radio and GPS trackers available on the market, but there are loads of different types of trackers, and between the GPS and the radio frequency, I do prefer the radio frequency because it tends to have a shorter radio, so your cat needs to be sort of around your area, but it picks up the signal very easily, even though your cat is under a bush or under a car, which can happen very often with cats. And so I do prefer radio frequency because it seems to be a bit more accurate when it comes to finding a cat in particular. And if you do have to find your cat, you have to make sure that your tracker is charged before every time the cat goes out. So say that if he has a charge that normally lasts the full day, when your cat is definitely back inside for the night, you should put your tracker on charge and then put it on the next day so that you are covered. The charge covers usually a few days. And, you know, in case your cat had to get lost, at least you have an autonomy on that tracker to find your cat back. And 5 is making sure that you have great pictures of your cats that are up to date, and they show their markings and they show their face very well. And, you know, these are very useful in case your cat should get lost and you want to make a leaflet, and you need to make a big, very big leaflet with a picture on in bright colors and with the reward written on it. And, you know, then in that case, you need your pictures to be up to date and to be very visible and to be very clear so that your cat can be easily recognized. Now let's look at some tips. If you keep your cats indoors, giving them controlled access to going outside, which can be a fabulous way to keep them happy and entertained, but also safe at the same time. First of all, you can use a catio or a cat-proof fence, and I always advise this solution for people that have the resources to do so. I cannot believe how amazing it is to have a catio or a solution to keep your cats safe while opening the doors freely, especially in summer when it's hot, and not having to worry one bit about where the cats might end. And, you know, I might be selfish here, but I love not to have to worry myself sick, wondering where the hell they have gone and why they're not home yet. And I love not spending hours scouring the neighborhood and crawling under bushes, calling their name, wondering if I will ever see them again. Now, if you do want to look into catios and cat-proofed fences, I have links down below for companies that I personally recommend. And this is a solution that I absolutely love. And I couldn't understand, you know, how amazing it was. I mean, I knew it was amazing, but until I got one. And now that I have a catio, and my cats can come and go from the catio whenever they want, and I don't have to worry about anything. And yes, of course, we can spend some time inside the garden for supervised time outside, so that they can have their grass under their paws, and they can have a bit more fun sniffing and smelling everywhere and roaming around the garden. But you know, that's under my watchful eye. I also take a cat of mine out in the neighborhood with a leash, and I have 5 cats. I can't take all of them on the leash, but you know, I try to give them different adventures in different ways with the time that I have available, and I can, you know, supervise them pretty easily by being outside with them, and especially in misty weather, or when they are very active outside, I can use little jumpers for them that help them stay a little bit more conscious of not jumping fences, for example, and staying under my eye, basically under my supervision. But yes, of course, the supervision and time outdoors under supervision is always something that you can do. But for a solution where you don't have to invest active time doing that, and you want your cat to have a glimpse of the outdoor and a bit of fun and smell the fresh air and hear the birds and even see the birds very close by, because I put, for example, a bird feeder just outside the catio. It is an amazing solution. So the companies that I recommend are companies that I know work really well. So you can have a look at them, and that I wrote down below in the description. And also, of course, if you want to do it on your own, I can give you some advice on that as well, and post your questions, and I might do another video on that alone, because it's important that you get, for example, the right frame and the right kind of timber and the right kind of net, because the net that is too small and too fine can hurt cat's paws. So you want to basically build a catio that is not only safe but also pleasant for them to possibly climb and do stuff inside and play with, etc. So yeah, let me know if you're interested in knowing more about that. But this is an amazing solution. If you have the resources to do so, a catio is just incredible. Also, the leash walking is definitely an option, and even backpacks sometimes work well, and even pet buggies work well sometimes, if you are that kind of person that doesn't mind weird looks from other people looking at you with a buggy with the cat inside. I mean, not that I've done that ever, but I mean, I know the looks. I don't care, but I know the looks. Anyway, so yes, if your cats do well in a backpack, for example, that's another thing that you can do to give them some fun outside under supervision. You can, for example, once your cat is able to go on the leash and is trained to go on the leash and is secure, and you can feel that you have a decent amount of training going on with the leash. For example, having a backpack with you would allow you to go outside your normal area, because you could always use the backpack to put your cat back in if there is anything outside that demands your cat to be kept secure and safe. Like, for example, if there is a bunch of dogs that are coming towards you and you want your cat to be not on the floor, you can pick him up, but also you can use one of these backpacks to have your cat safely inside, but still looking at what happens outside while you are walking. And also, as I said, some cats, for example, are older and they don't feel like walking a lot, but they do like a little bit of time outside, and in that case, pet buggies are actually a really nice choice. And they're very safe, and yeah, they can be a really good choice. Again, if you don't mind the looks. I say, if you use a buggy, just own it, just get out there with the buggy and own it, and be proud. So 3, you can also make space for window perches to get some cat TV going. And for example, for of course, controlled access to the outdoors give cats the best of both worlds, and it's an absolute fantastic choice. But if you can't do that, for example, or you live in an apartment and you don't have the chance to and the possibility to take your cats outside directly and actively, then yes, having window perches is ideal. And for example, there are some hammocks that are really, really nice and really well done, and they have suction cups that attach to the window, and they are easy to use. They're very sturdy, as I said, easy to clean, and cats just love those hammocks to lounge at the window. And you can always put, as I said, bird feeders outside and give your cats a chance to hunt, at least in their mind, because 80% of the hunt is done with the planning of what they might do when they get to the bird. So that would satisfy pretty much 80% of the hunt drive that your cats have. Now, if your cats are indoor only, then you can make sure that you play with your cats at regular intervals so that they don't get too bored and they get the right stimulation. And you can have your cats, for example, eat by using food puzzles rather than just food bowls, so that they have a bit more things to discover and figure out while they are trying to eat. So that gives a simulation of the hunt for cats, for example. And you want to make sure that your cats have scented toys, for example, to play with when you are not actively playing with them, so that they have some stimulation in terms of scents And you can even bring some outdoor elements inside the house, a branch and a few leaves, for example, because something that can seem really silly to you, that it can really represent something new to your cat, and it can be a really nice way to enhance their senses and enhance their experiences and their daily life indoors. As I always say, remember that you are your cat's special person and you have the power to make the choices that shape their lives. So make wise choices. And a wise choice to make right now is to download your free resource, Help Your Cat Live Longer in 5 Simple Steps, at theholisticatspecialist.com/5 steps to longevity. If this video was helpful, I'd love it if you click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I'd love to hear from you. So are you team indoors? Are you team outdoors? Or are you team indoors, but we control access to the outdoors? Leave a comment below, and I really hope this video can help you and your cat to be happier. Also, if you have a burning question on a particular topic that you would like me to discuss, ask in the comments below. I do try and answer your comments if I can, especially on the day when these videos get published. Thanks for watching. See you next time. And until then, love your cats as much as you can. Bye.